Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries. Today, I want to do a small video. Aaron's out of the studio. He's taking a nap. I told him to go and take a nap. He was getting on my nerves, sleeping on my floor. He was like, oh yeah, I was up and blah, blah, blah. Well, excuse me, I didn't hear. You know, he should be going to bed at a good, decent time, you know, etc. But anyways, this isn't about sleep. This video is about items that you purchase. That's right, items that you purchase, and do you have a use for them or not? Or are you just buying it because it's a novelty thing? Now, let me give you some breakdowns before we get into it. Today, this catalog came. I got a lot of high credit with Fingerhut. I don't use it. I bought Aaron his Christmas present, a 2DS. I've been looking at getting myself a 2DS, a 3DS, and a few other items online. But anyways, not yet because it's not time. I'm one of those that there's a time and season for everything that you buy. So, anyways, let me put it to you this way. This is Aaron's Fingerhut wish list. Now, I'm going to break it down for you before I give you my input and suggestions. One of the items that he wanted was a Super Chef 11-piece stainless steel cookware set. It had a double boiler and a Dutch oven in it. You're paying X amount of money on it, and he was like, oh yeah, it looks really good. Well, the Dutch oven didn't look really like a Dutch oven, but I wasn't going to say a peep. Now, we have all the cookware stuff we need. He wants a Dutch oven for bread, and he wants a double boiler for things, but the question truly is how many times are you going to use a double boiler? How many times are you going to use a Dutch oven? Dutch oven you can buy separately. That's my opinion, but this is just his wish list, and I'll give you my ideas. The Magic Bullet, I told him you could do something better, but that's like a blender thingy. Then he wants a meat grinder. A meat grinder. The entire time me and Aaron's been together, he's been talking, you know, as a family. He's been talking about a meat grinder for years, but every time I bring up, do we have a use for it? Well, we don't. The ice cream maker. My mother only used an ice cream maker twice per year when she bought it. Twice. She'd make ice cream and all this stuff and then freeze it, and eventually we'd have milkshakes with it. Twice. So, you know, I mean, it costs money. You gotta buy the ingredients, and you gotta buy the rock salt, and you gotta plug it in and let the machine go for like 2 hours. A bread box. My mother had went through bread boxes like crazy, but the problem with the bread boxes is it kept the bread fresher, but the bread went down faster too because, well, she had children. A dome tent. The dome tent's nice, but you can find it cheaper even through somewhere else, like sporting goods store or hardware store. You don't want to pay this type of money for it. It is a good idea. I mean, on that. An inflatable boat. It's a pipe dream. I really don't see myself with an inflatable boat for no reason. Not even a fly fishing, because you get a hook in it, you're going, and you're in the middle of the lake. No. A boombox radio CD player thing, yes, he could use it. The 14-in-1 food processor, yes, he can use it. A Presto Jumbo electric skillet, he's like, oh yeah, we could cook it outside. Yeah, but how many times would you use it outside? You see? Then there is a electric griddle. Yes, we have a griddle that needs to be cleaned, and it's kind of rusting off and on, but we've used it for like 7 years, so technically 8 years. It's a decent purchase. A meat slicer. Again, how many times is a person going to be using a meat slicer, right? Now, let me go down into the details. My ideas for Fingerhut is video game systems and play games on. Is that affordable? Yes. They don't have a humidor, so I can't buy and humidify cigars. Then there's the other problem. I mean, they have some fishing gear, but not quite good stuff. They got a lot of crappy stuff, but it's still, you can look at that. You could do the reviews on Amazon and say, not good. Then, for example, I asked for a espresso machine for the last like 8 years, and Aaron's answer is, oh, well, you know, you don't need one. I'll be making the coffees every morning, a cappuccino, so. Therefore, we don't need a meat grinder. We don't need a a meat slicer. But when I suggest, I could put on a counter a cappuccino maker, you don't need one. Then I said I wanted a rotisserie. You'll only use it once in a while for chickens. Most of the time the chicken's bland. Well, guess what? I don't see you with needing a meat grinder or this. And the double boiler, you can buy a double boiler. If you want a Dutch oven, you can buy a Dutch oven. I saw a cast iron skillet set for camping. It was, so everything I went through for myself was, the same thing as me. Do I have a use for it? No. How many times will I go camping? So when you're purchasing items, for example, like those examples, you got to ask yourself, do you have a use for it every day? Or are you going to use it every day? Or are you just going to look at it once in a while? It's like some of these purchases I make like this. I made a purchase recently that's going to be paid off shortly for a gift for a friend of mine out of state. And it's coming from another country. Yeah, guess what? That's all she's gonna know. I think she might like it. She might not like it. Who knows? It was just something that's spur of the moment thing. It's an outfit, and frankly, I cannot wear it. It's not my size. But for her, I think it'd fit her. And if she doesn't like it, she can always hand it to her sister to wear. Anyway, I look at it. I just thought it'd be nice. But for me, that was one of those spur of the moment things. Smoking pipes. I buy a pipe. I smoke it. Pack it up. It's useful. Cigars, I smoke those. Computers, no problem. Tablets, no problem. Tablets dual purpose. It's also got a camera. It's not a good camera. Another thing I wanted to get is a digital camera. Do I have use for it? Yes. But how many times would I use it? Not many. Therefore, you got to look at the aspect of everything you're doing and saying and etc. Cell phone, do you have a use for it? Once in a while. You got to look at everything that you purchase and ask yourself if you have a use for it. Heck, it's like this, for example. I got to make a thing so I can actually go in and get a specialist to take out a nail because it's actually hurting me for once. I've actually got a nail that's hurting. Do I just sit there and say, oh no, it'll be fine? I mean, heck, it could grow and grow and grow, but the problem is usually the nail falls off. This time it's actually hurting. So do I need to say, oh no, it'll be fine, I don't need it? No, you do these things. For example, a new Bible. I want a new Bible, but is it time? Who knows? Everything you buy, everything you need to use, you got to ask, do you have use for it or is it going to collect dust? Using something once in a while and saying, oh yes, it'll last 20 years. Yeah, it'll last 20 years because in 20 years you might use it 10 times. 10 times for what? Slicing something or grinding something or... I mean, most of these items I look at as... Oh, this is my list of what thing is. Most of these items I would say is useless. Yeah, I mean, I looked at a giant tent and he's like, bleh. I looked at a stove. Everything I looked at is like, So finally I just said enough's enough. Anyways, but I'm not bad-mouthing him. I'm not belittling him. For all you people watching this, all I'm saying in general is look at the big picture and go from there. You know, I mean, look at it from a big point of view. Will everything be good? Will everything be bad? Before you go out and make all these wish lists that you want, like reading, you can read, but some of the books you might get the library to bring in, for example, you might read the entire series by this guy and then finally say, I don't want it on my bookshelf because it's not what you're into, you know. You can buy something like an espresso machine or like Angela has, for example. I think she's got one of those pod machines, you know, which is really cool. I looked at it and everyone's like, they're expensive. You know, so everything you got to look at for yourself, and go from there. I mean, heck, I was looking at a espresso cappuccino maker. I don't mind espressos, but he was just like, ugh. I mean, yes, it might be a good idea, but you got to also ask yourself, is that what you want? You know, and go from there. And so ask yourself, do you have a use for it? Or is it just a novelty item? Or is it going to take up space in your home or apartment and you're not going to use it? You got to ask those factors before going out and buying something that might be or might not be good for your home or your situation. Because, oh, and the other key factor is, will it be hurtful to your pocketbook, and will you actually use it? I mean, Aaron keeps talking about wanting to move, yet he's now talking about wanting a kitchen set, which, by the way, he's got plenty of cooking supplies of pots and pans. I just don't understand why he wants that. He could go out and buy a double boiler and something else, but I guess it's all 11 piece plus cookie sheets plus everything else with some freebies. So I don't know, but ask yourself those questions. Will it hurt your pocketbook? Will you use it? Will it collect dust? That's part of the will you use it. Or is it just a novelty item? Like, I told Aaron I wanted one of those store-bought hot dog grills, you know, that they have at the stores, where you put the hot dogs on them and they grill. Oh, you won't use it much. Then I said I want a rotisserie again. Oh, you won't use it much. So, with that said, look at the possibilities of what or what you might not be needing it for, and then go from there. With that said, please add and subscribe. Please post comments in the box. Please add us as a friend. Please suggest or leave feedback. Thank you, and may God bless the world.